Everyone. I was thinking in the back there how wonderful it is to be here with you tonight with all the stuff that's going on in the world, to be here in our little chapel here, quietly worshiping, celebrating, being one together. So I'll start with Lamentations. And Lamentations, these are words spoken by a people in exile. Restore us to yourself, O Lord, that we may be restored. Last year we had a problem in our house. I noticed it walking through the garage, and it looked like it might be a leak in our water heater. So I didn't notice it for a while, and I didn't notice it for a while until all of a sudden I did notice it. And then anybody have a problem with water heaters in your house? Anybody have a problem? Well, this is the kind of leak you don't notice right away. But I noticed it. And so, what struck me most in the days that followed was how long restoration takes. And so, it's not immediate. It's not clean. It's not simple. It is expensive. And it is a mess. And in some cases, we need help to fix it, which we did. Now, I've been thinking about that word a lot lately, restoration. Because the need for it shows up in more places than we expect. In the world around us, in our relationships, and of course, within ourselves. There's a Japanese practice called kintsugi, and it's the art of repairing broken pottery with layers of gold. Have you ever heard of that before? It's instead of hiding the cracks, it's so interesting. Instead of hiding the cracks, it makes them visible. It takes time. The process of repairing isn't fast, and the finished piece, once it's done and repaired with the gold seams, isn't the same. The finished piece is something new. And interestingly, the repair is not hidden. It adds beauty. It reveals history. It honors the break instead of trying to erase the break. And sometimes the piece is even more valued than before it had been broken and repaired. Not despite the cracks, but is more valuable because of them. Now, there's a lot broken right now in this world. Would you agree? And perhaps you've observed people, maybe even yourself, who've been chipped, cracked, or even broken. Maybe even crushed. In kintsugi, the cracks are not erased. They become part of the story. And in the Christian story, something similar happens. The resurrection does not erase the suffering, but in the transformation of resurrection, the world is not restored to what it was before. It is profoundly changed. And maybe this is one of the hardest and most helpful truths for us to accept. Restoration never takes us back to the way things were. It can't. It only takes a moment to break something. A word spoken too quickly, a decision made in haste, a fracture that forms before we even realize it. But restoration of a family, of a reputation, of a nation, of an environment can take years. It can take a lifetime. And whatever comes next will be different. Sometimes better, sometimes more complicated, sometimes less secure, and sometimes more. Sometimes not what we would have chosen, but never the same. And that changes how we think about our own lives. Because not all brokenness is the same. Some breaking destroys, but some breaking sets us free of patterns that hold us. breaking ways of living that no longer give life. Sometimes what feels like breaking is actually the beginning of restoration. We don't seek the cracks, but when they come, they are not the end of the story. The deeper cry, perhaps, is this: restore us, not to what we were, but into what we are becoming, into what we can become. Because some things we just cannot restore on our own. And I finish these words with these words written to early Christians from 1 Peter 5:10, to people who knew what it meant to struggle, to wait, and to endure. After you have struggled, after you have suffered for a little while, he himself will restore, support, strengthen, and establish you. Like anything of lasting value, restoration may take time, perseverance, and faith. Things will never be the same, but a life of abundance doesn't depend on them being the same.